because nobody has come out and written a story saying, I did not vote for him, and here's the reason why. A, they're not allowed to.
Right.
After the fact, they can. Once the vote is actually revealed, they can. But the guys that did not vote for him cannot write a story about it until the Saturday before the Super Bowl, because that's when it's actually officially released as to who got in. That's part of the agreement. And I know because I vote for things. I vote for all Big Ten football, all Big Ten basketball. I vote for the Wooden Award, things like that. We're not allowed to reveal what our ballot is, ahead of time. And he needed 40 out of 50 to get in or something like that. And he didn't get it. And they claim it has to do with Spygate. Somebody mentioned Deflategate. Well, okay, Deflategate I'm sick of.
Right.
I'm sick of that. Number one, he had zero to do with it. Nothing. Not
zero to do with it, and they won the game 45-14.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. And then they won the Super Bowl that year, and they changed out the football on every single play because they're souvenirs. Yeah. They changed the football out in the Super Bowl every play because that way they give it to a sponsor. Hey, look, this is one of the game balls. This is that's why the ball's changed on every play in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So he has nothing to do with that.
No.
Spygate, which was what I think was the Rams. Was it the St. Louis Rams? I think that was it.
I think it was the Rams or the Broncos. One of those two, yeah.
I think it was the Rams. It was the Super Bowl. It was down in the Superdome.
Oh, yeah. It was the Super Bowl. So it was the Rams. Yeah.
And the Rams, greatest show on turf, ringing up big points left and right. But if I recall correctly, tell me if I'm wrong, didn't they win the NFC Championship game? And it was a low-scoring game, and they had to win it late.
That was the year before that they beat the Buccaneers. That year, I think they beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Beating 29-24, I want to say.
Right, okay. So it was a decent scoring game. The year before,
it was like 11-6.
In other words, you can hold the Rams down.
And Ricky Prohl still caught that ball. They called incomplete, too. So you can hold them down. With it.
Right. Yeah. I'm saying, but my point is, it's not as if the greatest show on turf was ever slowed down by somebody. My point is, they were.
Yeah.
Right? And they're claiming that some people, they're guessing that that's being held against him. For God's sakes, he won 6 Super Bowls, and he did it 3 in 4 years at one point. Then they went 10 years where they're like close. But people forget there's a 10-year gap between Super Bowl appearances. Right, where they're relevant, but not quite over the top, and then they won 3 out of 4 again. They got to Super Bowls and they lost to the Giants twice.
One year they went undefeated to get to the Giants after Deflategate might have had the year after.
Yeah.
Or Spygate.
I mean,
whatever it was.
I'm sorry, this is wrong.
Very.
I realize he was never the easiest person on the planet to deal with.
And I think that has to do with it, too. I think there are a lot of people in journalism that vote based on feelings, and you can't do that.
Please, and Steeler fans, please don't take what I'm about to say wrong. Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he got in.
Yeah.
He won, okay? Winning one is incredibly difficult.
Sure.
Ask Bill Cowher what it takes to win 6.
And I don't want to hear, Cowher coached in one place for this long, so did Belichick.
Right, so did Belichick. But think about this. Bill Walsh is an awesome coach.
Yeah.
He won 3. And he's a great coach. He had Joe Montana, he had Steve Young, but you have to be able to coach them, and he did.
That's
right. And he was also the general manager, acquiring talent and so forth, which is essentially what Belichick was doing. And Belichick was always changing the roster over all the time. And this one is just, you sit back and, I'm going to penalize him and not make him a first ballot?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous in every sense of the word.
Tony Dungy's in.
Yeah.
But Tony Dungy coached in 2 Super Bowls and won 1. That's an incredible accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Dungy should be in.
Yeah.
But he didn't win 6. Oh, and by the way, last I checked, he was the coordinator on 2 others. He's got 8.
Mm-hmm. Coordinator on a team that was almost unbeatable in '86.
Yeah.
Coordinator on a team that beat the 49ers in 1990 they were unbelievably good.
Matt Barr won the game out there with 5 field goals.
Yep.
Penn State's Matt Barr.
Fell down 12-3 to the Bills, beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, see, I don't really. Belichick's interesting in that if you ask him questions or critical questions, he just blows it off. But if you ask him something
about the history of the game,
historic, he will wax poetic and give you paragraphs and pages of, because he loves it, he's into it, and that's where his personality comes out. That's where his personality comes out. That you're like, oh, there actually is a real, personality, a real interest and so forth as what. And I thought on the NFL's 100 Greatest, where they put him on the set, he was terrific on that because it was about history.
Yeah.
How you act with the media should not come into play when it comes to. I heard for years, Jim Rice was always sour with the media, and that's why it took him so long to get in. It's like, oh, for God's sakes. You know what? When he's got a bat, okay, did he move the wall back 5 feet in his career because he kept hitting it so hard? Yeah, probably.
Yep.
I mean, this one just is just wrong on a lot of levels, and I don't get it. And again, I'm not putting down Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, these guys should be in.
But I'm giving context here. He won a Super Bowl. Incredibly difficult to do. Well, you think it's incredibly difficult to win 1. How difficult is it to win 6?
Yeah. Difficult is it to win 6 and be to, 9? What is he, 6-3? Was he 6-3 with the Patriots? Lost 2 to the Giants to 6-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still,
and the Eagles.
And the Eagles. So 6-3. Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, 6-3. Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's
6-3, and then if you add in what he did as a coordinator, well, he was 8-3 because the Giants did not lose Super Bowls. They won the 2 that they were in when he was the coordinator.
Yeah,
they beat the Bills, and then they were able to beat the Broncos.
Yeah. I think a lot of this is. I think it's a couple things. I think, as you said, it's the people factoring in Spygate, Deflategate. But I think the one thing you're taught in Journalism 101 when you first break into the business is to not cover things based on your personal feelings. And I think that is exactly what some of these writers did. I think there's a lot of feeling toward Bill Belichick in a lot of ways, and I think they put that in their vote, which is something you absolutely cannot do. And the thing that drives me nuts more than anything is the hypocrisy that you get from these voters, and that's in baseball and in football. Yeah, they sit there and tell me it's a numbers game. Okay, well, Bill Belichick's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as an assistant. That's a number that puts you in the Hall of Fame. And then they sit there and say, well, is there an era where you say this guy was the best at what he did? Yeah, very much so. Absolutely. Well, can you write the history of the game without having him in it? No, you can't. There's 3 right there where you say it time and time again to what your criteria is for the Hall of Fame, and he meets every one of those. There's no excuse whatsoever to not have this guy in the Hall of Fame in the first pass.
At minimum, we fell 11 votes.
Yeah.
At minimum, because there are at least 11 people that did not vote for him.
Yeah, and
we don't know how many, but at least 11 didn't.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and I think it's embarrassing.
It's very.
I think it's embarrassing for the Hall. I think it's embarrassing for the voting
writers,
panel.
Absolutely.
And because there's certain things that are obvious.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
certain things that are obvious. In other words, when Tom Brady is eligible to be right? I'm saying because it's obvious. When Peyton Manning, it's his time. It's obvious. Right? Well, this was Bill Belichick. It was his time. It was obvious. And now you've got the stories about how Belichick didn't put in, but evidently Robert Kraft is still right there. He was able to get through some other level to get this, and they really butted heads. Come on. Okay, stop with the personality stuff.
And that's the problem.
The personality
that's the complete
stuff.
problem of it all.
The personality stuff is incredible. That's why we're watching the Denver, and I've never met Mr. Kraft.
Right.
I've heard nothing but good things about him because, I knew Gil Santos. Right? I mean, Gil was my mentor. Well, Gil loved Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that was enough for me. I mean, I know enough people who know people. Right? I mean, Bill O'Brien couldn't say enough about Mr. Kraft.
Yeah.
So that's if he gets in the Hall of Fame, he deserves it. Right? Absolutely. But why do you think, for example, on Sunday, right, where they show and there he is, Robert and Jonathan Kraft at the Broncos game, right? And of course, why do you see Jerry Jones, right, all the time? Guess what? They're both on the TV committee. Did you show the Broncos ownership? No. Did they show Stan Kroenke in the Rams game? No. Did they show the Seattle ownership? No. Now, you saw, was it Joan Allen, Paul Allen's widow? I saw her, they showed her, doing the 12. I mean, she's the owner, and doing the 12, regardless of who would throw the flag up. They could have picked Marshawn Lynch. They would have shown it.
Right. Week before. Yeah.
Right. They would have shown it. It's just part of, it's part of the broadcast. But, but they do show Mr. Kraft all the time.
Sure.
Right? And that's one of the reasons he's on the TV committee.
Yeah.
He's a great guy from all accounts. Right? And he's done he saved that franchise. They're going to St. Louis if he doesn't. People don't realize they're going to St. Louis unless he steps in.
Yeah,
he saved that team.
Sure did.
But the Belichick thing, boy, it's just
it's frustrating. I think
there's so many decisions that are made like this where I sit back and go, the personalities of it and the narratives, and you know how I feel about narratives. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.